Earth's reputation on trial. The Grand Assembly of the Galactic Federation, a chamber of immense technological beauty and architectural wonder, had seen its share of debates, crises, and interstellar revelations. But today's session had taken an unusual turn. Delegates from across the galaxy, from gaseous life forms of the Nivarian clouds to the crystalline scholars of Zereth, had gathered to hear something unexpected. At the center of the chamber stood Dr. Elaine Carter, one of Earth's leading xenobiologists. Her stance was firm, her gaze unwavering, as her audience looked on with a mix of skepticism and mild amusement. Humans were a new addition to the Galactic Federation, seen as curious, perhaps clever, but ultimately unremarkable. Yet, the topic of today's presentation had drawn unprecedented attention. Earth. Why it's the most dangerous planet you've never considered. The murmurs began before she even spoke. Dangerous? Earth. Ambassador Trevik of the Ilvori clicked his mandibles in disbelief. Surely this is some form of human bravado. Their world is pleasant. A Class 2 planet, at best. A garden, nothing more. Another voice chimed in, this one belonging to an amorphous being of translucent energy. Their environment is temperate. Their biosphere is unremarkable. What could possibly warrant such a claim? Dr. Carter smiled faintly. She had expected this skepticism. Humans were often underestimated, their planet viewed as a backwater world brimming with biodiversity. Yes, but devoid of any truly fearsome qualities. What they didn't realize was that Earth's danger lay not in its environments, but in its creatures. Ambassadors, esteemed delegates, she began, her voice calm yet commanding. I stand here today not to exaggerate, but to inform. For centuries, Earth has been misunderstood. While it is true that our planet appears serene, its life forms have evolved under conditions that have honed them into some of the most resilient, adaptive, and yes, deadly beings in the known galaxy. She paused, letting the words sink in. The murmurs grew louder, but she continued before anyone could interrupt. Today, I will show you why Earth's biosphere deserves not only your respect, but also your caution. The misconception of Earth's serenity. With a wave of her hand, a massive hologram activated above her. It displayed Earth in its entirety, a blue-green jewel in the vastness of space. Delegates leaned forward, intrigued by its beauty, its calm oceans, and lush continents. This, Dr. Carter said, is the image most of you associate with Earth. Peaceful, inviting, and brimming with life. A place where one might imagine safety, harmony, and leisure. But looks, she added with a pointed glance, can be deceiving. The hologram shifted, zooming in on Earth's oceans. Let us begin with the waters that cover 70% of my planet, she said, her tone sharpening. To most, the ocean might seem like a tranquil expanse, but beneath the surface lies a world of relentless predators, creatures honed by millions of years of evolution to survive and dominate. The image morphed into a great white shark, its jaws open, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. This is the great white shark, she explained, an apex predator that has ruled Earth's oceans for over 400 million years. It can detect a single drop of blood in 100 liters of water, swim at speeds of up to 56 kilometers per hour, and deliver a bite force of over 18,000 newtons. But more than its physical power is its intelligence. It can learn, adapt, and even alter its hunting strategies to overcome prey defenses. The audience grew quiet. Dr. Carter wasn't finished. She gestured, and the hologram shifted again. And then, of course, there's the orca, or killer whale. She continued, showing a pod of sleek black and white predators swimming in perfect synchrony. Despite their name, orcas are the largest member of the dolphin family. They hunt not just for survival, but for sport. These creatures exhibit cultural behaviors, teaching their young advanced hunting techniques, such as creating waves to wash prey off ice floes or targeting the livers of sharks with surgical precision. They are, in every sense of the word, strategists. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Aquatic representatives, who had previously dismissed Earth's oceans as primitive, exchanged uneasy glances, a question of classification. Ambassador Torek of the Ilvori stood, his tall, reptilian frame casting a long shadow over the assembly. "Impressive, Dr. Carter," he said, his tone laced with skepticism. "But surely these examples are isolated. Your oceans are vast, yes, but no more dangerous than the aquatic biomes of Zorik 7 or Tardar Prime." Dr. Carter raised an eyebrow. "Ambassador, I appreciate your concern, but Earth's oceans are merely the beginning. Let me now introduce you to our terrestrial predators." The hologram dissolved into a new image, a honey badger standing defiant before a snarling lion. The chamber erupted into laughter. "That small creature. Surely you jest." Dr. Carter waited patiently, her face betraying no emotion. "This," she said evenly, "is the honey badger, a creature so fearless that it regularly fights off lions, cobras, and hyenas. It has been documented using tools, breaking into locked containers, and even faking its own death to escape predators. Its skin is so thick that it can withstand bites and stings from most venomous creatures. And if cornered, it has a tendency to go for its opponents' sensitive areas." The laughter stopped. "On Earth," she continued, "size does not always equate to danger. The honey badger is proof of that. And it's far from alone. Let me show you another example." The hologram shifted to a cassowary, its powerful legs and razor-sharp claws gleaming in the simulated sunlight. This flightless bird is considered one of the most dangerous animals on Earth. It can disembowel an attacker with a single kick, and while it might not be aggressive by nature, it is highly territorial and has been known to attack creatures much larger than itself when provoked. The atmosphere in the assembly. By now, the murmurs in the chamber had shifted from disbelief to unease. Delegates whispered to one another, their voices carrying a mix of fascination and dread. Dr. Carter sensed the change and pressed on. "I see you're beginning to understand," she said. "But I haven't even begun to discuss our more unconventional life forms." With a flourish, the hologram transformed into a box jellyfish, a translucent, almost ethereal creature. "This," she explained, "is the box jellyfish. Its tentacles carry venom so potent that it can kill a fully grown human in minutes. The pain it inflicts is described as unimaginable, and there is no guaranteed antidote. Yet, despite its lethality, it remains one of the most graceful swimmers in our oceans." The hologram shifted again, this time displaying an octopus solving a complex puzzle. And here we have the octopus, a creature capable of opening jars, solving mazes, and using tools. Some species can even mimic other animals to avoid predators. Their intelligence rivals that of some sentient species in this room. The silence in the chamber was deafening. A glimpse of what's to come. Dr. Carter lowered her hand, and the hologram disappeared. "Ambassadors, this is merely an introduction. Earth's creatures are not only deadly but endlessly fascinating. They have evolved to survive in ways that challenge even our own understanding of biology. In my next session, I will discuss Earth's microorganisms, bacteria that eat nuclear waste, viruses that defy medical science, and fungi that can control the minds of their hosts." She paused, her eyes scanning the room. "Earth may appear peaceful, but beneath its beauty lies a world that has honed survival to an art form. And if you truly wish to understand humanity, you must first understand the creatures that shaped us." The chamber remained silent as Dr. Carter stepped down. The delegates, once dismissive, now sat in uneasy contemplation. Earth, it seemed, was not a garden. It was a crucible. The apex predators of the deep. The chamber of the Grand Assembly of the Galactic Federation was unusually quiet. The delegates, many of whom had initially dismissed Dr. Elaine Carter's claims about Earth's dangers, now leaned forward with a mix of fascination and trepidation. Earth was no longer a quaint garden world in their eyes. It was rapidly becoming a place of intrigue and terror. Dr. Carter stood confidently in the center of the room, the holographic display behind her now filled with vivid images of Earth's vast, mysterious oceans. "Let us now dive into Earth's waters," she began, her voice steady. "A world that remains largely unexplored, even by our species. What we do know, however, is that these oceans are home to creatures that defy expectation and logic. Creatures that have evolved to dominate an environment as hostile as it is beautiful." She gestured, and the hologram shifted to show an immense great white shark gliding silently through the deep blue waters. "The master hunter, great white shark. This," Dr. Carter began, her tone sharp, "is the great white shark, a predator that has survived Earth's shifting ecosystems for over 400 million years. It is an apex predator, meaning it has no natural enemies, save for humanity and occasionally other creatures I'll introduce later." The hologram zoomed in, highlighting the shark's powerful body and razor-sharp teeth. "It can grow up to 6 meters in length, weigh over 2 metric tons, and deliver a bite force of up to 18,000 newtons. Its teeth are serrated and continuously replaced throughout its lifetime, ensuring it is always ready for the hunt. But perhaps most terrifying is its hunting precision." The display shifted to footage of a great white breaching the ocean's surface, its massive body launching into the air as it captured an unsuspecting seal. Great whites are capable of detecting a single drop of blood in over 100 liters of water. They use this ability, along with finely tuned senses, to locate prey from kilometers away. And if that's not enough, they can swim at speeds of up to 56 kilometers per hour and attack with incredible stealth. A low murmur spread through the assembly. Species accustomed to ruling their aquatic worlds looked uneasy. "But it's not just their physical attributes," Dr. Carter continued. "Great whites are highly intelligent. They adapt their hunting strategies depending on their prey, showing signs of problem-solving and learning behaviors. This intelligence, combined with their raw power, makes them one of Earth's most efficient predators." She paused, allowing the delegates to absorb the information. Then, with a faint smile, she added, "And yet, they are not the most dangerous inhabitants of Earth's oceans. The coordinated killers, orcas." The hologram shifted to show a pod of orcas, sleek, black and white creatures cutting through the water with effortless grace. "Meet the orca," Dr. Carter said. "Though commonly known as the killer whale, they are not whales at all, but the largest members of the dolphin family. Unlike the great white, which hunts alone, orcas are social predators. They hunt in pods, working together with precision and strategy that rivals even the most advanced military units. The display showed orcas working in unison to create waves that knocked seals off ice floes. Another clip showed them targeting a great white shark, flipping it onto its back to induce a state of paralysis before surgically removing its liver. The delegates shifted uneasily. Orcas are known to communicate with one another using sophisticated vocalizations. These sounds vary between pods, indicating a form of cultural learning. In other words, they pass down hunting techniques and strategies to their young, much like how humans teach their offspring. She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. "And yes," she added, addressing the unspoken question, "they do occasionally hunt great white sharks, for sport." A crystalline delegate, whose species thrived in aquatic biomes, raised a shimmering appendage. "Dr. Carter, are you implying that these creatures hunt not out of necessity but for leisure?" Dr. Carter nodded. "Indeed, orcas have been observed playing with their prey, engaging in behaviors that seem driven more by curiosity or entertainment than survival. Their intelligence is staggering, as is their ability to manipulate their environment." The crystalline delegate dimmed slightly, a sign of discomfort. "The deep-sea giants, sperm whales." Before anyone could respond, the hologram changed again, this time displaying a sperm whale, its massive form cutting through the inky darkness of the ocean's depths. "Now let's go deeper," Dr. Carter said. "Much deeper. The sperm whale is the largest predator to have ever existed on Earth. These creatures can grow up to 20 meters in length and weigh over 50 metric tons. But what makes them truly remarkable is their ability to hunt in the midnight zone, a part of the ocean so deep that sunlight cannot reach. The display showed a sperm whale diving into the abyss, using echolocation to navigate the darkness. They hunt giant squid, creatures that can grow to lengths of up to 14 meters. The pressure at these depths would crush most spacecraft, yet sperm whales thrive here. Their echolocation is so powerful it can stun prey, and their bodies are built to withstand conditions that would kill nearly any other creature. The delegates were visibly shaken. The gaseous entity whispered to its neighbor, "They hunt in the darkness." Unyielding, terrifying. The silent killer, box jellyfish. Dr. Carter wasn't done. She gestured again, and the hologram displayed a box jellyfish, its translucent body almost angelic in its beauty. "Not all dangers are large," she said. "This is the box jellyfish, a creature that appears harmless, but is one of the most venomous organisms on Earth. Its tentacles can grow up to 3 meters long, and each one is lined with millions of stinging cells. A single sting can kill a human within minutes." The delegates recoiled in horror as the hologram demonstrated the venom's effects on a simulated prey animal. The venom attacks the heart, nervous system, and skin cells simultaneously. The pain is so excruciating that victims often go into shock. Yet despite this lethality, the box jellyfish floats gracefully through the water, undetected by most predators. The growing unease among delegates. By now, the assembly was buzzing with nervous energy. Representatives whispered to one another, their expressions ranging from disbelief to outright fear. Dr. Carter, a delegate, finally spoke up, his voice trembling. "Your planet. It seems almost designed to produce killers. How do you survive alongside such creatures?" Dr. Carter smiled. "Humans are survivors. We've learned to adapt, to respect the dangers of our world while finding ways to live in harmony with them. But make no mistake, Earth's biosphere has shaped us just as much as we shaped it. These predators, these ecosystems, have honed humanity into a species of innovators, problem solvers, and, if necessary, fighters." She let her words hang in the air, watching as the delegates exchanged uneasy glances. "And this," she concluded, "is only the beginning. Earth's oceans are vast, and we have only explored a fraction of them. Who knows what other secrets they hold?" The fearsome creatures of the land. The delegates in the Grand Assembly of the Galactic Federation were no longer dismissive. After Dr. Elaine Carter's presentation on Earth's oceans and their terrifying apex predators, the chamber buzzed with an undercurrent of unease. Earth, it seemed, was not the tranquil paradise they had imagined. Now the spotlight turned to the creatures that roamed the land, a realm where the survival instincts of Earth's species reached even greater extremes. Dr. Carter adjusted the holographic display behind her, which now shifted to show the sprawling, varied landscapes of Earth: dense jungles, arid deserts, vast savannas, and icy tundras. "Earth's terrestrial ecosystems are as diverse as they are deadly," she began. "Here, life is a battle, a constant struggle for dominance, survival, and adaptation. And out of this crucible, nature has forged creatures that are as formidable as anything in the galaxy." The room fell silent as the first image appeared on the hologram, a lion standing atop a savanna, its golden mane rippling in the wind. The king of the savanna, the lion. "Let's start with the lion," Dr. Carter said. "A symbol of strength and dominance, this apex predator rules the African savanna. Weighing up to 250 kilograms and capable of running at speeds of 80 kilometers per hour in short bursts, the lion is a team hunter, relying on strategy and cooperation to bring down prey far larger than itself." The hologram shifted to show a pride of lions coordinating their attack on a wildebeest herd, surrounding their target with military precision. Lions hunt in pride, using teamwork to outmaneuver their prey. They've been observed communicating through vocalizations, gestures, and even subtle changes in body language. It's not brute strength that makes them deadly. its intelligence, strategy, and unparalleled coordination. The assembly murmured, impressed, but not yet alarmed. One crystalline delegate spoke up. Impressive, but there are many pack hunters in the galaxy. What makes Earth's predators unique? Dr. Carter smiled. Patience, Ambassador. Lions are just the beginning. The fearless honey badger. The hologram shifted to a much smaller, seemingly unassuming creature, the honey badger. At first, the delegates laughed. That tiny thing. Surely you jest. Dr. Carter's tone sharpened. Do not be deceived by its size. The honey badger is one of Earth's most fearless and tenacious creatures. It will fight lions, leopards, and even venomous snakes without hesitation, and often win. The hologram played footage of a honey badger fending off a lion, snarling and clawing with relentless ferocity. Another clip showed it shrugging off a cobra's venomous bite and retaliating by killing the snake. Its skin is so thick that it can withstand bites, stings, and even blows from sharp claws. And when cornered, it targets the most vulnerable areas of its attacker. The laughter stopped. On Earth, Dr. Carter continued, ferocity often outweighs size. The honey badger exemplifies the sheer audacity of Earth's predators. The deadly cassowary. The hologram transformed again, this time to a large bird-like creature with vibrant blue plumage and menacing claws. This is the cassowary, Dr. Carter said. Native to the forests of Australia and New Guinea, it is often referred to as the most dangerous bird on Earth. Standing nearly 2 meters tall and weighing up to 70 kilograms, it is capable of disemboweling a predator with a single kick. The footage displayed a cassowary fending off a pack of wild dogs, using its powerful legs to deliver lightning-fast, precise strikes. It is highly territorial and will attack anything that threatens its space, including humans. What makes it particularly dangerous is its speed and agility. It can outrun most land creatures and leap nearly 2 meters into the air. The delegates shifted nervously. A gaseous being whispered, "Why does this planet seem intent on making even its birds into weapons?" The silent stalker, saltwater crocodile. Before anyone could recover, the hologram displayed a new creature, a massive, scaly beast lying in wait at the edge of a murky river. Now we move to the saltwater crocodile, Dr. Carter announced, the largest reptile on Earth and one of its most efficient killers. The hologram showcased the crocodile launching itself from the water, clamping its jaws around an unsuspecting animal with bone-crushing force. Saltwater crocodiles can grow up to 7 meters in length and weigh over a ton. Their bite force is the strongest of any living animal, capable of snapping bones and tearing through flesh with ease. They've been around for over 200 million years, a testament to their evolutionary success. The footage continued, showing a crocodile performing a death roll, spinning violently to dismember its prey. The assembly was silent, the delegates visibly disturbed. They are ambush predators, Dr. Carter added. Patient, stealthy, and almost entirely silent. You won't see them until it's too late. The deceptive hippopotamus. A crystalline ambassador raised a nervous appendage. Dr. Carter, are there no herbivores on your planet that are less terrifying? Dr. Carter's smile widened. Let's talk about herbivores. Then, meet the hippopotamus. The hologram shifted to show a massive hippopotamus emerging from a river, its massive jaws opening wide. Herbivore, yes. Gentle, no. Hippos are responsible for more human fatalities in Africa than any other large animal. Weighing up to 3,000 kilograms, they can run at speeds of 30 kilometers per hour on land and are highly aggressive when threatened. The footage displayed a hippo flipping a small boat with terrifying ease, then chasing off a group of crocodiles. Their teeth can grow over 50 centimeters long, and their bite force is enough to crush solid bone. They are territorial and will attack anything that comes too close: humans, boats, and even predators like lions. The crystalline ambassador visibly dimmed. Your herbivores are as dangerous as your carnivores. Is there anything on Earth that doesn't try to kill you? The ambush predator. Komodo dragon. Dr. Carter laughed softly. Let me show you one more. The hologram shifted to display a Komodo dragon, its forked hum flicking as it prowled the savannah. This is the Komodo dragon, the largest lizard on Earth. It can grow up to 3 meters long and weigh over 70 kilograms. Its bite is laced with venom that prevents blood from clotting, ensuring that its prey bleeds out even if it escapes the initial attack. Footage showed a Komodo dragon stalking a water buffalo, biting it, and then waiting patiently as the venom took effect. Komodo dragons are ambush predators, Dr. Carter explained. They rely on patience and stealth to secure their kill. Their venom is potent, but they are also powerful and fast, capable of sprinting to chase down prey when necessary. The delegates growing unease. By now, the delegates were visibly shaken. The creatures of Earth's land were unlike anything they had ever encountered. Fierce, intelligent, adaptable, each one seemed to defy the expectations of evolution. A crystalline being whispered, "Their planet is a nightmare." Another muttered, "And these creatures shaped their evolution." Dr. Carter nodded, as if reading their thoughts. Earth's predators and ecosystems have shaped humanity in ways we are still trying to understand. But one thing is clear: our survival is a testament to our ability to adapt, innovate, and coexist with creatures that would otherwise see us as prey. She paused, her gaze sweeping the room. And this is just the land. Next, I'll introduce you to the invisible dangers, the microorganisms, viruses, and parasites that make Earth truly unique. The room erupted into nervous murmurs as Dr. Carter stepped back, leaving the delegates to contemplate the revelations they had just heard. The invisible killers of Earth. The delegates of the Grand Assembly of the Galactic Federation were still reeling from Dr. Elaine Carter's revelations about Earth's land predators. Yet, despite the unsettling images of lions, cassowaries, and Komodo dragons, many were comforted by the fact that these dangers were visible, something they could see, avoid, or prepare for. But when Dr. Carter returned to the podium, her expression was more serious. The holographic display behind her shifted to show magnified images of microscopic organisms, their intricate forms glowing under the light of an advanced electron microscope. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her tone grave, "what I'm about to show you is something far more dangerous than any lion, shark, or crocodile. The deadliest threats on Earth are the ones you can't see." The ubiquity of microorganisms. The first image on the hologram was of a single bacterial cell, its rod-like structure glowing in a surreal, otherworldly blue. "This is Escherichia coli, or E. coli," Dr. Carter explained, "a bacterium that lives harmlessly in the intestines of most animals, including humans. But under the right conditions, certain strains of E. coli can cause severe illness, even death. And this is just one of the billions of microbial species that thrive on Earth." The hologram expanded to show a college of different bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other microscopic life forms. On Earth, microorganisms outnumber all other forms of life. They inhabit every corner of our planet, from the deepest ocean trenches to the highest mountain peaks. They survive in environments that would kill most macroscopic organisms, in boiling volcanic springs, in the vacuum of space, and even within nuclear reactors. A crystalline delegate raised an appendage. "Are these organisms hostile by nature?" Dr. Carter shook her head. "Not always. Many are essential for life on Earth. They help digest food, cycle nutrients, and even produce oxygen. But some have evolved to survive by exploiting and killing their hosts. These are the ones I want to focus on today. The masters of manipulation, parasitic fungi." The hologram shifted to a time-lapse video of an ant crawling through a jungle, its movements erratic and unnatural. Suddenly, the ant froze, climbed a nearby plant, and latched onto a leaf with its mandibles. "This," Dr. Carter said, "is Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, commonly known as the zombie ant fungus. This parasitic fungus infects ants and hijacks their nervous systems, forcing them to climb to an optimal location where the fungus can grow and spread its spores. The ant's body is essentially turned into a vehicle for the fungus's reproduction. The video continued, showing the fungus sprouting from the ant's body, releasing spores into the air. The room erupted in horrified murmurs. "It controls its host?" asked a delegate from the gaseous species of Nebula 4, its voice trembling. "Yes," Dr. Carter replied. "And it's not the only one. There are fungi that infect cicadas, crickets, and even plants, turning their hosts into tools for their survival. It's a brutal, yet astonishingly effective, evolutionary strategy." The deadly efficiency of viruses. The hologram shifted again, this time displaying the structure of a virus. A geometric, almost crystalline form that looked deceptively simple. "Now we move on to viruses," Dr. Carter said. "Unlike bacteria or fungi, viruses are not technically alive. They are strands of genetic material encased in a protein shell. And yet, these simple entities have caused some of the most devastating pandemics in human history." The display changed to a representation of the influenza virus, showing it invading a human cell and replicating itself at an exponential rate. Influenza, smallpox, HIV, Ebola, all of these viruses have claimed millions of lives. They are invisible, highly contagious, and capable of evolving faster than we can develop defenses. They adapt, mutate, and overcome barriers in ways that challenge even the most advanced medical science. The room grew eerily quiet. "But viruses don't just harm humans," Dr. Carter continued. "They infect plants, animals, and even bacteria. They're universal predators, capable of targeting almost any form of life. The bacterial assassins." The hologram switched to an image of a bacterial cell dividing rapidly, with glowing green tendrils extending outward. "This," Dr. Carter said, "is Yersinia pestis, or the plague bacterium. It is responsible for the Black Death, a pandemic that wiped out nearly half of Europe's population in the 14th century. Gasps filled the chamber as the hologram displayed historical illustrations of plague victims and devastated cities. What makes bacteria like Yersinia pestis so dangerous is their ability to adapt. Many can develop resistance to antibiotics, the drugs we use to fight them. In fact, the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria is one of the greatest threats facing humanity today." Another delegate, a luminescent being from the Delta cluster, asked hesitantly, "Do these bacteria only target your species?" Dr. Carter shook her head. "No. There are bacteria that infect everything from fish to plants to insects. They can destroy crops, devastate ecosystems, and even trigger mass extinctions. The ancient survivors. Extremophiles." The hologram transformed again, this time to show a small bear-like creature with 8 legs. "And then there are extremophiles," Dr. Carter said, her voice tinged with awe. "This is a tardigrade, also known as the water bear. It is one of the most resilient organisms on Earth." The hologram showed the tardigrade surviving extreme conditions, boiling water, freezing temperatures, radiation, and even the vacuum of space. Tardigrades can enter a state of cryptobiosis, effectively shutting down all metabolic processes. In this state, they can survive for decades without food or water, waiting for conditions to improve. The delegates stared in stunned silence. "And they're not alone," Dr. Carter continued. "Earth is home to countless extremophiles, organisms that thrive in environments no other life form can endure. Some live in volcanic springs, others in frozen glaciers or highly acidic lakes. Their resilience makes them potential candidates for space exploration and colonization, but it also means they are incredibly difficult to eradicate. Earth's microbial arsenal." The hologram faded, and Dr. Carter stepped forward, her expression somber. "Earth's microorganisms are a double-edged sword. They've shaped our planet's ecosystems, driving evolution and biodiversity. But they're also a constant reminder of how fragile life can be. On Earth, survival isn't just a matter of avoiding predators. It's a battle against forces you can't see, forces that adapt faster than you can react. She paused, letting her words sink in. And yet, humanity has endured. We've learned to coexist with these microscopic killers, to study them, and even to use them for our benefit. From antibiotics derived from fungi to bacteria that help clean up oil spills, Earth's microorganisms have taught us resilience, innovation, and adaptability. The delegates' unease. By the time Dr. Carter finished, the assembly was silent. Delegates exchanged uneasy glances, their confidence in their own species shaken. One ambassador finally spoke. "Your planet. It's as if every form of life is locked in an eternal arms race. How do you survive?" Dr. Carter smiled faintly. "Through ingenuity, collaboration, and a relentless drive to understand the world around us. Humanity didn't become dominant by being the strongest or the fastest. We became dominant because we adapted." She stepped back from the podium, leaving the delegates to contemplate the unseen dangers of Earth and the species that had emerged from its crucible.